करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानंदसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। My respects to all the dignitaries on the stage, the teaching faculty, the professors, and my dear students. The invocation, Stotra, which I just chanted, Sahana Bhavatu, it is one of the oldest known prayers to mankind. It is from Rig Veda. Whenever two people would assemble in this land to exchange ideas, whether it was a teacher and a student or two groups of scholars, they would begin with this prayer. And what is the meaning of this prayer? Let this interaction nourish us both. Let this interaction energize us both. Let this interaction enlighten us. And for all this to happen, may we have a harmonious relationship. This was the prayer. How did people around him, his compatriots, other intellectuals see him? Balagangadhar Tilak, Abraham Maslow, Bhasham, A.L. Bhasham, the noted Indologist, and some others, they say he is, in the modern Indian history, comparable to personalities like Sri Shankaracharya and Sri Rama, acknowledged Swami Vivekananda's influence on them. Swami Vivekananda was a lover of God and a lover of man. When I use the word man, please don't take it in gender terms. Man is mankind, a human being, men and women. When he talks about man-making education, it is not gender specific. In fact, he made man the center of his philosophy, not God. Man is the center of Vivekananda's philosophy. He declares, the more I live, the more I find the whole thing is contained in this one word, man. Then how does he define man? Man is a compound of animality, humanity, and divinity. Pashutva, Manushatva, Daivatva. Man is a compound of these three things. Every human being has these three aspects to his personality. The rising or evolution of man from animality to humanity and from humanity to divinity is called man-making education. That is the purpose of life, Swami Vivekananda declares. The purpose of life is for man to rise from the bestial animal nature to a level where he can be called a human being. We repeatedly see in our news media, they look to be like human beings, but they live, think and act like beasts, animals. The Pashutva in them is so strong. How do you sublimate that crude feelings and instincts and bring them to the level of humanity? His Guru Sri Ramakrishna would say, he whose mind has awakened, only he can be called, he or she can be called a human being. If the mind is not awakened, that person is just an animal, well dressed, with a good language, with some technical knowledge. But for all that, an animal. You have to look inside and see which is dominant in us. The animal, the humanity, Manushatva, or Daivatva. So Swamiji gave a call. He wanted man-making religion, man-making education, man-making theories. What will be the result of this? The result will be a true man who is strong as strength itself and yet possesses a woman's heart, a mother's heart. How does he define man-making education? Swamiji, I'll present, there is one big book on Swamiji's ideas on education. I'll present just 3 definitions which appeal to me. Swamiji describes it as that education by which our character is formed, our strength of mind is increased, our intellect becomes expanded, and by which we learn to stand on our own feet. Not this kind of standing. Stand on our own feet means to take responsibility for my life. It is not mugging up some syllabus and vomiting it in the examination. What goes for education now? It is character building. It is strengthening of mind. It is expansion of the intellect. And it is that spirit which makes me have the confidence I can stand on my own feet. The second definition he gives, what is education? Education is the training by which the current and expression of willpower are brought under control and become fruitful. All weaknesses we see in ourselves and in people around us is the result of lack of willpower. We have just finished the New Year, calendar New Year, January 1st. I am sure many of you would have renewed your New Year resolutions. How much of it is practiced depends on the willpower. So education is that which channelizes this current of willpower in the proper channel, helps us to have control over it and achieve its desired results. The third definition, my favorite definition of education, given by Swami Vivekananda. Education is nervous association of ideas. My friends, please understand this carefully. Education is nervous association of ideas. How to explain this? Let me give an example. Towards the end of his life, Swamiji was diabetic and he had some other illnesses. The doctor prescribed a regime of treatment where he said, you can take milk but you cannot drink water for 7 days. And Swamiji used to guzzle liters of water every day. But he said, okay, I will follow this. The other monastic disciples told Swamiji, you drink so much water. Can you do this? He said, yes, I will do it. 3 or 4 days into that medication, suddenly one day, by mistake, by force of habit, he picked up a glass of water and he drank. The next moment, his throat muscles constricted and the water came out. Swamiji was for a second surprised and his nervous system had accepted that suggestion. You will have to think for next 10 minutes to understand this. These are people who are established in truth. When they speak something, they mean it. They don't speak to please anyone. When he said, I will not drink water, his nervous system accepted that idea. Unknowingly, by force of habit, when I had that sip of water, the throat muscles constricted, water came out. Swami Vivekananda was very happy. We find the same thing in his guru and some other disciples, brother disciples. That is nervous association of ideas. I think you now understand. Association means assimilation. We have another definition by Swamiji. He tells us, if you have assimilated 5 ideas, only 5, if you have assimilated 5 ideas and made them your life, memorizing facts and figures is not education. It is assimilation of ideas that is true education. This is in sharp contrast to what we have now, a system where we have to memorize facts and figures and vomit them in the examination hall. Facts and figures which run right in our brain, undigested all through our lives. I also have done it. Memorizing, especially in English literature. When was this book published? Who printed it? Who wrote it? None of them has helped me in my life. But in the examination, net examinations, you have to give all these facts and figures. And it was called education. Now, assimilation comes from experiential learning. It is not through a textbook. It is from experiential learning that you can assimilate ideas, not simply by reading. You may read and by heart it, but you cannot assimilate it unless it is put into practice. This is called experiential learning, and this is one of the key ideas in the national education policy that we have now in our country. Sri Ramakrishna, Guru of Swami Vivekananda, would often draw attention to the importance of assimilation with a wonderful example. I quote him. He says, "What will one gain by merely quoting or hearing scriptures?" We have people who memorize Gita, memorize all scriptures. And it is assumed, oh, I am very religious because I have memorized so many scriptures. Sri Ramakrishna says, what will you gain by merely quoting or hearing the scriptures? One must assimilate them. The almanac is Panchanga. The almanac forecasts the rainfall of the year. Anyone who knows how to see an almanac, Panchanga, you go and see, it will tell this month there will be rainfall like this. The almanac forecasts the rainfall of the year, but not a drop of water will you get by squeezing the pages of the almanac. It is written 20 centimeter rain. If you squeeze that paper, will you get rain? Not a drop of rain. Similarly, memorizing facts and figures is not education. Assimilating it. Anything has to be assimilated. Even if the food we eat, if it is not assimilated, you may give him the best nutritious food. The body doesn't have, the intestines doesn't have the capacity to assimilate it, the body will not be healthy. One of the striking questions in the Upanishads is the foundation of the Sanatana Dharma. It is the most scientific and most daring exploration done in this land thousands of years ago. You will understand what was the courage of these people. They were called rishis. Rishi is one who sees, drashtara, one who sees. These are yogis. Who is a yogi? Please don't confuse people who do yogasana, who have long beards. Don't say yogi is one who has a long beard or who does all kinds of physical exercises. Hatha yoga is a physical exercise. One doesn't become a yogi by doing hatha yoga. There is now confusion. This is a land of yoga, so you should not confuse that with that. Who is a yogi? Yogi is one who sees something which others fail to see. Yogi is one who sees it better than others. Yogi is one who sees it ahead of others. That is a yogi. Why? How can he do that? Because his mind is trained in the power of concentration. And that mind, with one-pointed laser focus, can see and perceive things better than others. So in the Upanishadic age, one of the thrilling, brilliant questions raised was this: what is that knowing which everything else is known? Do you understand this question? What is that knowing which everything else is known? Whatever may be your subject matter. Suppose I tell you, if you know this one knowledge, if you know everything in this universe. You would say, then let me know that. If I know this, I have knowledge of everything in this world. Is there something like that? This is the question they asked. What does it mean? The meaning is, it is a simple question. The meaning is there something unique, a unifying factor, a reality, knowing which we will have knowledge of all things manifested in nature, nature within and nature outside. Everything I will know if I know this one thing. Is there something like that? This was the question. And there was an answer for that. The Rishi replies, another Rishi, he says, yes. In our land, we have understood two kinds of knowledge has to be acquired. Paravidya, aparavidya. You have to acquire two kinds of knowledge. What is aparavidya? Aparavidya is knowledge acquired through the senses and through the mind, Whatever you call, whatever may be the subject, all the subject knowledge which you have, that is aparavidya, knowledge of the manifest world. Then what is paravidya? Paravidya is knowledge of the imperishable reality. Simple word, consciousness. Another word, Brahman. Another word, God. Another word, Allah. Give any name for that. That from which this universe has manifested, that knowledge is the higher knowledge. Knowledge of this manifest universe is the lower knowledge. We need two kinds of knowledge. Even now at this very moment, you are all listening to me. I hope you are. You are all physically present. We are all physically. Even as I am communicating some ideas, you are accepting some, you are rejecting some. It is giving you some other ideas, giving you some other links, and there is a voice speaking in your mind. Isn't it? There is a voice speaking in your mind. Can I ask you, Konkani? You don't know, but you are talking. Your mind was responding to the ideas I am sharing with you. That is the inner world. And that is not all. There is a consciousness behind that mind. This knowledge also has to be acquired. Only then can you say, I am educated. You may have a postdoctorate in any subject, but if you don't know your inner world, then you are not fully educated. We live in two worlds, the world outside, world inside. And real success means I have to be successful in the world outside, I have to be successful inside. We have many people who are very successful outside, they are failures inside. One poor result, one publication not accepted, they break down. Why? They are poor inside. One relationship gone wrong, they break down. Why? They are poor inside, weak inside. We have to be strong inside, strong outside. That two kinds of world we live in, two kinds of knowledge we have to acquire. Now, a true perception or realization of this inner consciousness, Swami Vivekananda uses the word divinity, Daivatva. Who am I is the question. Upanishad throws this question at us. Take up this question. Do your research on this. Who am I or what am I? If you begin with this question, you will start with your body, your social identity. I am rich, I am good, I am intelligent, I am sick, I am healthy. It comes from social identity to body identity, then mental identity, and then so many identities in my family. Behind all this, what am I? That is the quest. Who am I? What am I? That will lead you to the foundation of your true self. That is religion. Swamiji believed that such a religion has a definite role in man-making education. I quote him. He says, when I use the words man-making religion, I do not mean books, nor dogmas, nor theories. You have to believe this, you have to accept this. That religion I don't accept. Then what is it? It is the realization or perception of the divinity within our hearts. That is inside me. I have to discover it in myself. This may appear controversial to some so-called secularists who say religion should not come into education. To such people, those who say all our problems are because of religion, to such people, Swamiji says, religion is not at fault. Your religion teaches you that every being is only your own self multiplied. But it was the want of practical application, the want of sympathy, the want of heart. It is there, but you did not cultivate your heart. Therefore, cultivating the heart is an important feature of man-making education. Our current education system overemphasizes on developing the intellect at the expense of the heart. Swamiji had warned this 100 years ago. Swami Vivekananda warns us. Actually, he told this to the Western people. It is one of the evils of your Western education, Western civilization, that you are after intellectual education alone and take no care of your heart. It only makes men 10 times more selfish, and that will be your destruction. We saw 2 world wars fought by these intellectual Western nations. Therefore, Swamiji gives a very strong call to cultivate the heart. I'll give a longish quote. First, feel from the heart. Feel, my would-be reformers, my would-be patriots. Do you feel that millions and millions of descendants of God and of sages have become next-door neighbors to brutes? Do you feel that millions are starving today and millions have been starving for ages? Does it make you restless? Does it make you sleepless? Has it gone into your blood, coursing through your veins, becoming consonant with your heartbeats? Has it made you almost mad? Have you forgotten all about your name, your fame, your wives, your children, your property, and even your own bodies? Have you done that? That is the first step to become a patriot, the very first step. It is not the patriotism which is expressed when India plays Pakistan. That is no patriotism. This is feeling from the heart for the poor, the sick, the destitute. Chiding so-called educated people like us, Swami Vivekananda says, so long as millions live in hunger and ignorance, I hold every man a traitor who, having been educated at their expense, pays not the least heed to them. You are all paying the fees, of course, but please never forget, it is the public taxpayers' money which is educating you. Those who are doing research, 35,000, 50,000, 70,000 fellowship. They think it is my right. It is not, my friends. It is the honest taxpayers' money which is educating you. That we should never forget. And those taxpayers, they are not all billionaires. I quote another quotation from Swamiji. I consider that the great national sin is the neglect of the masses. And that is one of the causes of our downfall. No amount of politics would be of any avail until the masses in India are once more well educated, well fed, and well cared for. You are educated boys and girls, you know this. No political party can build India. It has to be built by you. And you will be able to build it only when you have the heart to feel for our fellow countrymen and women. If we want to regenerate India, we must work for the poor, the masses. It is heartening to note that the new education policy will now focus on children from socio-economically disadvantaged groups. I recently, 10 days ago, someone passed it to me on Twitter. Mr. Sridhar Vembu, I don't know if you have heard of him, one of the leading software companies in India, Zoho, the founder CEO, he has tweeted Swami Vivekananda's one quotation, the one I read out, and he writes, this profound wisdom from Swami Vivekananda is an enduring inspiration. That's my resolution for this year and this decade. I request you, please see Mr. Sridhar Vembu's articles on him. 12,000 crore, honest, most effectively earned money, owner of that. He is living in a village near Tenkasi because he has determined I will uplift the villages of India. That is assimilation of ideas. Truly, when the heart learns to feel, the hand rises to serve. Man-making education is built on the foundation of selfless service. Service is the best way to teach values. As I was introduced, for more than 20 years, I am associated with value education. NCERT initially had 82 values listed. These are the values to be taught to our children. Then they understood this is not going to work. They will memorize the values and they'll write in the exam, nothing will be assimilated. Assimilation is possible only when it's put into practice. Every education policy has spoken about values, importance of giving values. But with a distorted understanding, interpretation of secularism, which stems from a wrong definition of religion, all these years we have tried to present values, removing it from spirituality. I repeat this point, the common definition of religion is not given by correct people. Vested interests give their own definition of religion. That is not religion. Practices, social practices are not spirituality. Let me tell you a story. There was a young dacoit. He joined the group just a few weeks ago. One day he had a doubt. He went to the leader of the dacoit gang and he asked him, Anna, is there dharma in dacoity? Dacoity ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ dharma ಇದೆಯಾ? He is a very good thief, you see, dacoit. So he wants to know, in dacoity also there should be dharma. Then the leader tells him, pray, tell me of anything in which there is no dharma. Dharma is law, the right way. Dharmika means the right way. Dharmika Vyakti means he is going on the right way. Tell me anything in which there is no right way. In dacoity also there is a right way. Oh, is it so? What is it? In dacoity, there is the wisdom of locating the booty. You should not come and put a dacoity to our ashrama. You will not get anything there. So you should have the wisdom of locating the booty. Then the insight of calculating the chances of success. Then the courage of going in first. Then the heroism of coming out last. And then the justice of sharing the dacoity booty equally among all the dacoits. There never was a successful dacoit who did not possess these 5 qualities. What are these 5 qualities? Wisdom, insight, courage, heroism, justice. No good dacoit without these qualities. That are values. University Education Commission, headed by Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, 1948-49. It was the first education commission of independent India. Dr. Radhakrishnan's statement. Please listen carefully. There are many who feel that morality can take the place of religion. Morality is the values, 82 values listed by NCERT. What do you want all religion? So many headache, my religion is correct, your religion is wrong, my religion is stronger than you, my God is stronger than your God, just like school children. My papa strongest, elder people shout, my religion strongest. There are many who feel that morality can take the place of religion. We have to understand that the great virtues of loyalty, courage, discipline and self-sacrifice may be used for good or bad ends. These are essential for a successful citizen as for a successful villain. You think of those LTTE terrorists, you think of those Taliban terrorists who go and blow themselves up. Don't they have courage? Don't they have heroism? Don't they have loyalty? Don't they have intelligence? They have all those values. What makes a man truly virtuous is the purpose for which he lives. Please remember this. One point for this talk, please remember this. What makes you really virtuous is the purpose for which you live. Your general outlook on life. Virtues and vice are determined by the direction in which we move, by the way in which we organize our life. Unless morality is taken in a larger sense, it is not enough. If we exclude spiritual training in our institutions, we would be untrue to our whole historical development. What is that historical development? 2 kinds of knowledge you have to acquire. Knowledge of the world outside, knowledge of the world inside. In IIT, every Sunday I go to IIT Madras. I am in Chennai. We have Viveka study circle. This is the 24th year. Every Sunday I meet around 40 students, mainly PhD and MS and MTech students. Now and then I hear PhD student jumped from the 7th floor, committed suicide. MS student hanged herself. Every year we have cases like this. They are brilliant students in IIT. Very successful outside. Mark sheets will show glorious academic record. But they are broken and they are failures inside. Because the education system only told you, mug up, vomit in the examination hall, take a mark sheet. You are educated. That is not education. Rich and successful outside, poor and a failure inside. What kind of life is that? That's why Swami Vivekananda gave a call. Man-making education is what we need. In a letter to the Maharaja of Mysore, written from America in 1895, Swami Vivekananda tells him, "My noble prince, they alone live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive." Are you alive? You please ask for yourself. Are you alive? Another quote from Swamiji, my favorite. "After so much austerity, I have understood this as the real truth. God is present in every jiva. There is no other God besides that. Who serves jiva serves God indeed. This is the gist of all worship. This is the essence of all worship, whatever may be your religion. What is that? To be pure and to do good to others. He who sees Shiva in the poor, in the weak, and in the deceased really worships Shiva. You put any name you want, God, Shiva, Allah, any name you want. And if he sees Shiva only in the image, his worship is but preliminary. That's why Swami Vivekananda gave, it is a monastic organization, around 1,800 monks. Atmano mokshartham jagat hitaya cha, for one's own self-emancipation and the good of the world. How will the good of the world be achieved? Through selfless service. And what is that kind of service? Shiva Gnane Jiva Seva is the idea Swamiji gave. Serve your fellow human beings, looking upon that will purify your mind. The national education policy which we have now is ambitious, it's progressive, but how it will fare will depend upon our participation, teachers and students. Administrators cannot make it successful. Teachers and students have to make it successful. In 1966, the Kothari Commission pointed out a new society will be coming in India. In 1966, they told this. There will be a wide variety of choices and freedom to choose. You will not understand this. Those who were born before 92, who are youth, they will understand this. You did not have a wide variety of choices. You did not have a freedom of choice because there was only one or two things to choose from. Now you have choices. And you have the freedom to choose anything you want. The condition of that society will depend upon the type of choices each individual makes. Each one of you have made a choice. You have made a choice to sit, you have made a choice to stand, some are making, just like every drop makes a lake. How does a man or a woman to make this choice? What is that behind the choice? It is the motivation or purpose in life and values. We did not act on this advice and we are paying for it now with so many people making foolish choices, ignorant choices, deliberately wrong choices. Corruption is the bane of science coupled with Vedanta. Brahmacharya as the guiding motto, and also Shraddha and faith in oneself. Don't be frightened by Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya only means self-restraint, an ascetic spirit. When Swamiji was traveling to Japan on his way to Chicago, J.R.D. Tata was with him, the first founder of the Tata Institution. Swamiji had a discussion with him and he told him, you see, we should have industry in India. You should not be going to Japan to take some ideas from them and import things from them. Have something which will help our fellow countrymen to develop their intellect. With that idea, Swamiji was invited to come and take care of, lead this Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. Swamiji was not interested in that, but that was the beginning. That ascetic spirit. Ascetic spirit means one-pointed dedication. You cannot romance and also say, I will educate myself. That does not happen. This education, man-making education, it cannot be brought out just by framing some syllabus and curriculum and system of delivery. It requires more and more people to participate in thinking about nation building through character building, through man-making education. The Vivekananda Study Center, which has been inaugurated today, gives you a platform which can help you, both students and teachers, to think, to reflect deeply on ideas. I request all of you, just take a time, one day, life is long, take one day Just today, this day, there is a Wikipedia, very good page on Swami Vivekananda, Wikipedia. Google it now. Try to understand who was this man, what are these ideas he gave. Because learning that this man was great is not going to help me. He was great, what is it to me? Swamiji says, Buddha was great, Jesus was great, what is it to me? Does it help me to become great? To say he is a great man, there is nothing in it to me. He is great, let it be. What is it to me? Does it help me to become great? That is the question. And there are answers, there are indicators for that. Life is possible, a real life is possible only with strength. That was the message of Vivekananda. That strength I can develop by expanding myself. Swami Vivekananda says, contraction is death, expansion is life. Contraction is selfishness. Always thinking about I, my studies, my interests, my pleasure. Expanding it to feel for others. In that expansion, the heart expands. When the heart expands, something else happens. You will have one kind of experience at your age, what you feel from the heart. There will be some conflict. Students often ask me, when there is a conflict between my buddhi and my feelings, which should I follow? I say, in your age, follow your buddhi, which tells you, listen to my mother. Because your heart is not to be followed now. It requires a little more time, maybe 30s, then you can follow your heart. But if you can pick up some ideas from Swami Vivekananda, it will help you to realize a higher dimension, which will help you to stand on your own feet. You are the future of India. You will have many lectures like this. You listen and you forget. Assimilating ideas. And he writes, I have carefully read the complete works of Swami Vivekananda, and after reading it, my love for my country increased 1,000-fold, Mahatma Gandhi writes. In that Wikipedia, you will also find Jawaharlal Nehru says, in my age, we youngsters, most of us, we were inspired by Vivekananda's literature. And he gives a call to the youth, I hope you will also read Vivekananda. Why? Because he helps me to manifest the best in me. I'll conclude with one idea, because most of you will be looking for a job once you leave this great institution. Why do you want a job? Why should you think you should work livelihood? My friends, that is not the correct answer. There are 3 reasons why you should take a job. The first reason is, it gives you responsibility. Work means responsibility. And what happens when I take responsibility? There are people who work without taking responsibility. Nothing happens to them. When someone works taking responsibility, what happens? His inner potentials, his inner talents, they manifest. That is why I have to take up a job. When I take up a job, it is responsibility. That responsibility will awaken my inner potentialities and talents. I need it. I request you one more thing. There is one American psychologist, Abraham Maslow, Hierarchy of Human Needs. Please read this. Please read this. Because you should know who you are. You should understand how your mind functions. What are the human needs? Hierarchy of Human Needs, Abraham Maslow. Please Google and read that. Now, an opportunity to manifest my inner potentials, it is a human need. Roti, kapad, makan is lower level, animal needs. Next to that, I need a sense of belonging, love, affection. I belong to this group. That is a human need. Higher than that is something more. What? Self-actualization is the word he uses. When I take up a job, work, it gives me this opportunity to manifest my potential, actualize my inner talents. That is the first reason why you have to take a job. Second reason why you should take a job, I'll explain this with a quotation from Einstein. We have this in our college in Calcutta. Times a day, please listen carefully. If someone will get up and repeat it, I'll say here is a hero. 100 times a day, I remind myself that my inner and outer life depends upon the labors of other men, living and dead. How many times? 100 times a day, I remind myself that my inner and outer life depends upon the labors of other men and women, living and dead. Inner world, my mind. What am I doing? I'm uttering some sounds, right? And you are interpreting these sounds, hopefully, and making some sense of it. Because your teacher and my teacher taught me English. External. I don't know how to build this. I don't know how to make this spectacle. I'm using all this. 100 times a day, I remind myself that my inner and outer life depends upon the labors of other men, living and dead. And that I must exert myself in order to give back in the same measure as I have received and I am still receiving. And that I must exert myself in order to give back in the same measure as I have received and I am still receiving. Do you think anyone can repeat it? You are not used to it. You need to mug up many times. There was a power called Ekagrahi. You listen once, you remember it forever. That comes when the mind is clean. There is no trash. We empty the computer dustbin, but we cannot empty this mental dustbin. So many useless things are stored there. When it is clean, what you hear, you register. This is the second reason why you have to work. Because you have to give back to society. This is called Yajna Chakra. In our scriptures, this idea is called Yajna Chakra. There are 5 kinds of run I have to give back. There is a second reason why you have to take a job. Third reason, of course, you have to earn your livelihood. You have to earn money. Never put that as the first reason. Because in IIT, I see electrical engineering PhD, he goes and takes a mechanical job. I said, why did you shift? Because the pay is good. You have sold yourself. You have betrayed my country. I trained you to be an electrical engineer and you went and you were doing something else just because for money. I wanted an electrical engineer to serve my society. Please reflect on this. Money is not the first reason. There are so many aspects to life. You will have to think, you will have to reflect on some deep thoughts. The newly constituted Vivekananda Study Center will give you that opportunity. I request you on this sacred day, please explore, join that group, discuss some ideas, and be heroes. Thank you.